Hello hardworking aspirants. Today we are going to study about the sources of history. This is the second class of the complete ancient India that we are going to cover for your upcoming examinations. And let's see guys what we are going to see in the sources of history. Coins, that is numismatics. We'll also see the inscriptions, that is epigraphy, and with that we will also see ethnography. These are the terms guys you must know, and we'll be seeing the details of the sources of history, whether it is archaeological or the literary or the other sources. But before we begin the classes guys, quick info for all of you. We have the live batches running right now for the UPSC CSC 2026-2027, for TSPSC Group 1 as well as for TSPSC Group 2 guys. This is the opportunity right now for you because we are having 50% discount, and you can call on the numbers given below and inquire for the details. With that guys, there is a live mentorship program also being run, and one-on-one live mentorship by Deepika ma'am. That's the opportunity for you to ace your journey from an aspirant to an administrative officer. Well guys, let's begin with our class. So the sources of ancient Indian history. What are the sources? We'll have guys the archaeological sources, the material sources, the written sources, and the oral sources. Most of the material sources that we will see will be the rock paintings, the pottery, terracotta objects, beads, ornaments, sculptures, metal objects, coins, and weapons, and the structural remains of the caves, houses, stupas, rock cut caves, temple, churches, and the pillars will be seen. Along with that, we'll see the written sources like the inscriptions on Harappan seals, Vedic literature, Mesopotamian clay tablets that are very important. And along with that, we'll see the manuscript copies of Mahabharata and Ramayana, Jain and Buddhist literature, writing of Greek historians, travelogues by Chinese travelers, book on grammar, Puranas, and inscriptions will also be seen. And we'll see the oral sources, mainly the Vedic, Buddhist, and Jain literature. So when we talk about the sources of history, we find it in the various form of evidences guys, like the written, oral, material, and more, that provide information about the past events, the societies, and the culture themselves. Main type of historical sources, what are those? The primary sources like the letters, the diaries, the official documents, eyewitnesses accounts, photographs, coins. This we are talking about the what are the primary sources. But the primary sources, when we talk about the ancient India, one of the primary sources can be the coins. And what is numismatics guys? The study of coins, the collection of coins, that is called the numismatics. This is the term you should remember, you should know about. So when we see the coins, what are the things that we can decipher from the coin? Well guys, we can know about the economic conditions, the trade relations. How can we know about the economic condition? If we see while some period there is gold coin being used, we can assume from that the economic conditions should be very better than the other ones where the gold coin was not being used. For example, in India, while the Gupta period, we'll see the gold coins being used, and that is why we call that period as the golden period of India. Okay, we also understand about the technological development through the materials that were used in the coins, and the minting technique also tells a lot about it. Now along with that guys, we also see the coins have display images, it has some symbols, some inscriptions that inform us about the rulers, about the dynasties, about the religious beliefs and political events. Okay, these are the things that we can come to know from the coins, and these points can be asked in the form of questions to you, so you should remember. And with that, it establishes the chronology and timelines of the reign and historical events through dates and inscriptions. So these are all the informations collectively that we can get from the coins. Next guys is inscriptions, and the study of those is called epigraphy. What does this epigraphy or the inscriptions directly provide to us? Guys, we come to know about the contemporary records of the political events about the royal decrees, about the land grants, the conquests, and the religious practices through these inscriptions. Ashokan edicts. If you are an aspirant, you might have seen the previous year questions where you'll find that the questions again and again get asked from Ashokan edicts, Ashokan inscriptions. Okay, because it gives us insight into the governance, moral codes, that is the Dhamma, and the spread of Buddhism. This year also we had a question related to Ashoka. Okay, and that is why it becomes a very important topic, as well as the edicts and inscriptions of Ashoka. That is also very important. Inscription from various dynasties like the Pallavas, the Cholas, the Satavahanas. What it tells us, guys? It helps us to reconstruct their histories and their administrative system. Now, let's see the classification by nature of evidence. We can see, guys, the literary or the written sources, the documents, the manuscript, the book, religious texts. Okay, all these things are the literary or the written sources. But when we talk about in the ancient Indian period, we have these indigenous sources like the Arthashastra and the Rajatarangani. You can tell me by pausing the video who wrote Arthashastra and who wrote Rajatarangani. Well, if you have not paused the video, let me tell you, Arthashastra was written by Kautilya or the Vishnugupta, okay, or the Chanakya, and Rajatarangani by the Kalhana. Secular and non-secular is also something which we understand on the basis of the writings that have been done. The religious text, obviously, like the Buddhist Tripitaka, are the ones who will have some religious flavor to it. Okay, and the foreign sources, accounts by foreign travelers, diplomats, or writers. For example, Megasthenes and Huenseng. That's again the very important part that we will see, guys. That some of the very important travelers, the foreign travelers who have come to India, and there are questions being asked from those topics again and again in UPSC. Religious and literary text, that's we are talking about the scriptures and the text. Okay, what it reveals exactly? It reveals the philosophical, the spiritual, and the social values. Okay. Along with that, when you see the foreign accounts and the indigenous writing, it provides the narratives about the society, politics, and culture here. And the scripts and paleography. What is paleography, guys? Paleography is the study of the scripts. Trace the development and spread of languages and writing systems. Let's see some of the foreign travelers and their contributions. First and foremost, Megasthenes. The period is somewhere around 4th century BC, and you also see the contribution and work which was done by Megasthenes was Indica. Okay, key insights are Mauryan polity, society, and geography, that is written over there in Indica. And Megasthenes, guys, was a Greek philosopher. Okay, so you must know about it. Now, the next two, Fahen and Huensang, also known as the Xuanzang, both of these are from China, and they were in 5th century CE and 7th century CE respectively. A record of Buddhist kingdom was done by Fahen, and Siyuki was done by Xuanzang. Gupta dynasty and the Buddhism is something which was related with Fahen at the key insight of his book or his writings, and Xuanzang or the Huenseng, he had writings related to Harsa's reign, the caste, and the education system at that time. Next, guys, we see Alberoni, somewhere the other in Uzbekistan. Today's Uzbekistan is the place where Alberoni belonged. 11th century Common Era is the time. Kitabul Hind, Tahqiq-e-Hind is his contribution and works. He has written about Indian sciences and religion. Marco Polo, again, guys, the individual from Italy. 13th century Common Era, the book of Sir Marco Polo. He has written about the southern India and the economy there. Ibn Battuta, Morocco is the place. He was a Moroccan. A 14th century Common Era, Rihla is his contribution or the work, you can say. It talks about the Delhi Sultanate and administration. Jean-Baptiste Tavernier, 7th century Common Era, travel accounts, and the Mughal trade and society is what he has talked about. Jean-Baptiste Tavernier was from France. Okay, he was a French And lastly, you have Sir Thomas Roe. He was a Brit, and 17th century Common Era Journal of the Mission to the Mughal Empire, and he has written about the Mughal court and the diplomacy there. So these are few of the noted foreign travelers. There are others also which might not happen in this table, but you should know them, from which country they were, what was the period that they came to India, what are the contribution and the work, and the key insight of that contribution and the work. Okay, that is very important. So few of the literary written sources that we can see, guys. Mudra Rakshasa, it talks about the period, the last Nanda ruler, and the Chandragupta Maurya. Rajtarangani Kalhana talks mainly about the historical perspective related to the Kashmir of that time. Then Mahabhashya, Patanjali, Vedas. You obviously know the four Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Athar Veda, and the Sam Veda. And then we have the Upanishads, also known as the Vedant. Okay, where it is known as the crux, guys. The crux of the Vedas are known as the Vedant or the Upanishad. Arthashastra, again written by the Kautilya or the Chanakya or the Vishnugupta. Then we have the Malvika Agnimitram. It was written by the Kalidasa. Raghuvamsa, again written by Kalidasa. And the Jain text and the Arthashastra we have already talked about. Archaeological material sources, let's see them. What are these archaeological material sources? Physical remains from the past, like the monuments, the sculptures, the coins, seals, pottery, ruins, and inscriptions. Pottery, we have found painted grey ware and other colors also. Inscriptions on the pillars, the edicts, stone carvings that we have seen. Coins and seals, like the Kushan coins, the Harappan seals, give us a lot of knowledge about what was happening at that time. And we have the temple ruins, palaces, monuments. All these things are there for us to be seen, to get the knowledge about our ancient history. The artifacts object that we talk about, guys, like the everyday objects, like the tools, ornaments, weapons. So technological advances, craftsmanship, and daily life. Terracotta figurine, beads, seals indicate artistic trends, trade, and cultural exchanges. Pottery, we have seen different pottery styles, guys. Painted grey ware, black and red ware help identify cultural phases and trade networks. Pottery reveals information about the diet, the stories, the cooking practices, and the spread of culture and settlements. If you are having large pots, it means it was used to keep the grain. That shows that there was surplus of the grain, so we can like that come into the inferences. Cave paintings and rock art also give us good information about it. The very famous the Bhimbetka rock shelters, for example, show artistic expression and social activities dating back over 30,000 years. And the pictures here depict what? It depicts the prehistoric life, the hunting scenes, rituals, and the environment at that time. Then the seals, guys, mainly made up of steelite. Seals from Harappa and Mohenjo-daro display early writing system, administrative practices, and trade activities. Iconography on seal provides clues about religious beliefs and social organization. This is very important. It can be asked directly to you. Does the seals talks about the religious belief and social organization? Yes, it did. Okay, so guys, here you can see, as you see these coins. These coins represent the ruler, sometimes also represent the god and the goddesses. Then you will have something inscribed over here, something written, as you can see. And so that with that we can come to the inference that what actually was happening at that time. As we have seen the literary sources, we have seen the material or the archaeological sources. Let's see the oral sources, guys. In oral sources, what happens? Information is passed down verbally, that is the oral traditions, like the folk tales, songs, chants, eyewitnesses account, oral traditions, stories. And let's see, guys, folk songs, obviously all of you must know the songs in the rural area, gatha or the katha or the performance, the story depiction, that is called gatha. Slokas, obviously, guys, are, you can say, in the text, the religious text, the mantras that are given, okay, the lines that are written, that is the slokas. Abhangas literally means, guys, which cannot be broken. Bhanga means to break it. The abhanga doesn't get broken, and it is in a way you can say the Marathi poems. So, okay, Povadas, again guys, it is related to the Marathi culture, and it talks about the bravery, it talks about the tribute and all. Proverbs, obviously you all understand. The legends are the stories that we talk about, and the myths. Sometimes the Ramayana and the Mahabharata also are known as mythology or the myths, because not every part of it can be proven, and that's why we call them mythological books. So guys, this is an example of oral sources where you'll see people listening to one individual, and that's how it is passed orally. Then the other sources that we see, guys, again we have a new terminology, ethnography. What does ethnography exactly means? Study of living cultures to infer historical practices. Okay, that is known as ethnography. And the linguistic sources, analysis of language evolution, places, name and script. To understand historical changes is very important. Here we see many seals that were used in the Harappan period. Okay. So guys, with that we have come to the summary table, and you can see the different type of sources. The primary sources where we have the letters, coins, monuments, eyewitnesses accounts. Okay, these are the direct or the contemporary one. The secondary sources like the history book, article, biographies, analytical or interpretive one. Tertiary like the encyclopedia, like bibliography, textbooks, all. This is the summarizing and compiling one, which takes both the primary and the secondary and uses them. Literary or the written sources like the manuscript, government records, and the religious texts. These are written in the nature. Archaeological, pottery, ruins, inscription, coins, material. Oral, folk tales, songs, oral testimonies, that is the spoken and verbal. And ethnographic, that is the linguistic, custom language and cultural language. Importance of sources: it enables historians to reconstruct, analyze and interpret the past. And most importantly guys, you come to know about the chronology, and chronology is very important, because if you don't know what happened in the best, you cannot create the first story, the second, the third and the later on. So that is why guys, it is very important for the ancient Indian historical perspective. Let's see a few of the questions guys. Which of the following foreign traveler visited India during the reign of Harsha? So these questions have been asked in UPSC. What is the correct answer here? You can pause the video and then tell me the correct answer in the comments. Well, the correct answer here is Huensang. You can see the details of it. Huensang we have already discussed. He was a Chinese Buddhist monk, and he came during the reign of King Harsha in 7th century Common Era. Okay, and along with that you have the details of Fahen and Ising also. Let's see the next question. Regarding the Indus Valley civilization, consider the following statements. Okay, this is the question. This is point number 1 and this is the point number 2. It was predominantly a secular civilization, and the religious element, though present, did not dominate the scene. So guys, it was predominantly a secular civilization, yes, and the religious element, though present, did not dominate the scene. Number 2, during the period, cotton was used for manufacturing textiles in India. Yes, that's also correct. So in that basis, both 1 and 2, both are correct over here. Now, the next question, literary sources and Vedic civilization. Again, it was asked in UPSC. The Dharma and Rita, there are two terms given here. The Dharma and Rita depict a central idea of ancient Vedic civilization of India. Now, they have given the statement, Dharma was a conception of obligations and of the discharge of one's duties to oneself and to others. Yes guys, it is true. Dharma tells us that we have the duties towards others also, towards oneself also, and we cannot have complete independence. There has to be some obligations too. Rita was the fundamental moral law governing the functioning of the universe and all things and beings in it. Again, that's also correct. So what should be the correct answer over here? Both 1 and 2 again will be the correct answer over here. Let's see the next question. Which of the following inscriptions are important for reconstruction of Ashoka's reign? For Ashoka we have to talk. Girnar rock edict is correct. Musky edict is correct. Allahabad filler inscription is related to Samudragupta. Okay, so that is why 1 and 3 will be the correct answer. Now, I think this is the last question. Consider the following statements regarding the importance of coins as a source of history. Coins help in reconstructing the economic history of ancient India. Yes, we have seen that. when we were reading about the coins and the numismatics. Coins provide information about the language, script and religious belief of the issuing authority. Well, is this right or wrong? Well guys, this is also right. So both 1 and 2 is correct. With that we have come to the end of the class guys, but it is not the end for you. Rather, it can be the beginning for you if you want to get enrolled into this mentorship program where you will have one-on-one live mentorship by Deepika ma'am. And guys, again I will repeat the very same thing. If you want to lessen the time, lessen the journey from an aspirant to an administrative officer, this is the real opportunity for you. Call on the numbers given below and inquire further. Till then guys, keep working hard for success and take care.